Winston Churchill had a name for it: the Beast. It lived in the dark, icy waters of Norway. A fortress of 52,000 tons, protected by mountains, torpedo nets, and its own bristling wall of anti-aircraft guns. Ominously, this was the Tirpitz. It never had to fire its main guns in anger. It didn't need to. Its mere existence was a strategic weapon. It was a fleet in being, a ghost that haunted the Royal Navy, forcing Britain to keep an entire fleet of battleships and carriers on guard, ships desperately needed elsewhere in the war. For 3 years, Sink the Tirpitz was Britain's obsession. They sent commandos on skis. They were caught and executed. They sent midget submarines in a daring underwater raid. They managed to cripple the Beast, but she was repaired. They sent wave after wave of carrier bombers. Her armour was simply too thick. The Tirpitz always healed. It always survived. It sat in its lair and laughed. The Admiralty was desperate. How do you kill a monster that's truly, seemingly, invincible? The problem was given to a man who did not believe in the word invincible: Barnes Wallis. The eccentric genius, respectfully, the man who had already achieved the impossible, making bombs bounce on water to destroy the Ruhr dams. Wallis knew a conventional bomb was useless. To kill the Tirpitz, you couldn't just hit it. You had to penetrate it. You had to bypass the armour completely. His solution was not a bomb. It was a 12,000-pound, 21-foot-long, armour-piercing earthquake. Wallis designed the Tallboy to be the most aerodynamic weapon ever created. It was meant to be dropped from 4 miles high, where it would spin for stability, break the sound barrier, and strike the Earth at over 750 miles per hour. A weapon born from genius and gravity. It didn't even need to be a direct hit. The bomb would create a localized earthquake, a subterranean detonation so violent it would shatter the ship's keel. But if it did score a direct hit, Wallis theorized it would slice through the Tirpitz's deck like a hot knife through butter. Clinical. But to drop this weapon, you needed pilots who were not just brave, but perfect. You needed 617 Squadron. They had been remade for a new kind of impossible. Their Lancasters stripped of turrets and armour, engines specially tuned, all to carry one single bomb. This was not the Dambusters' low-level daredevil run. This was the opposite, high-altitude surgery. They had to fly at 20,000 feet, in sub-zero temperatures, with ice crusting their windows, and hit a target the size of a shipping container from 4 miles away. With the naked eye, in a moving aircraft, being shot at. Twice before, 617 Squadron had tried. Twice they had been thwarted by bad weather and smokescreens. This was their third and final attempt. The German smokescreens, grimly, which had saved the ship before, were slow to ignite in the bitter cold. For the first time, the Beast was naked. At 9:35, the Tirpitz's own guns opened fire. The lead bombardier, squadron leader Willie Tate, lies on his stomach, his eye pressed to a simple cross-haired bomb sight. The lives of 1,000 German sailors, the fate of the ship, and 3 years of Allied obsession all come down to this one man's eye and this one man's thumb. He is not aiming for the ship. He is aiming for a patch of air in front of it, calculating speed, altitude, and wind drift. At 16,000 feet, the flak is deafening, but the plane flies on, straight and level. A perfect target. Steady! The bombardier's voice crackles. Steady! Left! Left! His thumb hovers over the red button. Steady! The Tirpitz is perfectly centred. Bomb's gone! It falls. 1 second. 5 seconds. It begins its stabilising spin. 10 seconds. It passes 10,000 feet. 20 seconds. It's now travelling faster than the speed of sound. A silent steel javelin. 30 seconds. 35 seconds after its release, the impossible bomb struck. The Tallboy did exactly what Wallis designed it to do. It pierced the armour, tore through the internal decks, and detonated deep within the ship's belly, right next to a main magazine. At the same time, 2 other Tallboys, near misses, struck the water, creating the earthquake shockwave that shatters the ship's keel. The unsinkable ship was dying, broken from the inside out and the outside in. Within 3 minutes, the list was at 40 degrees. Within 10 minutes, the great ship rolled over, helpless. The pilots of 617 Squadron flew back in silence. The beast was dead. The Germans had built an unsinkable fortress, but they forgot about men like Barnes Wallis, men who dreamed of impossible bombs, and the pilots brave enough to drop them.